he accidentally discovered the secret hidden in their wedding photo. His wife had her 2 fingers crossed, a gesture that meant asking God for forgiveness, which basically meant their marriage was a sham. The next day, Truman didn't call her out on it. Instead, he played it cool and tried to get close to her, hoping to figure out what she'd been hiding from him all these years. But his wife seemed to sense what Truman was up to. She came up with some excuse about having to perform a really important surgery. The thing is, she was never this busy before. Today, she was acting completely different. Seeing all this just made Truman even more suspicious. So right before his wife left,
I'll cross my fingers for you.
she froze for a second and shot him a look, but then quickly put on a smile and rushed off. To get to the bottom of what was going on, he quietly tailed his wife to the hospital. But the moment he walked through the entrance, a nurse blocked his path. Truman could only ask her to pass along a message to his wife, so he pretended to leave, then doubled back and followed that nurse. Along the way, a whole bunch of patients in wheelchairs came rolling toward him. Truman smoothly changed direction, but then in the hallway, he bumped into a medical worker pushing a cart who kept weaving back and forth, totally blocking his way. Truman just shoved the cart aside and finally made it to the operating room where his wife was supposed to be working. But what he saw looked like some cheesy performance. Right as the doctor was about to start the surgery, the anesthetized patient suddenly sat bolt upright. This made Truman even more suspicious. His wife wasn't a real doctor, but he had no clue just how massive this lie really was. It wasn't just his wife who was fake. Truman walked out of the hospital and noticed everything around him seemed off, like everyone, and everything was just stuck on repeat. To test this theory, he started doing weird stuff. He tied his shoelaces right in the middle of the road, then sat down and really focused on watching the world around him. He finally became convinced everyone was caught in some kind of loop. Truman wanted to catch them slipping up. He spotted this guy in a hat among the crowd who was keeping a close eye on him, but when Truman noticed him, the guy quickly took off. Truman tried to chase after him, but a bus suddenly pulled up right in front of him. Right then, he remembered the next car would be green. With total confidence, he spun around and tried to flag down that green sports car. That moment made Truman even more certain about his suspicions. He suddenly broke into a run, then quickly turned and darted into an office building. Obviously, he didn't know a soul in there, but people totally freaked out when they saw him. When the elevator doors opened, Truman discovered it wasn't an elevator at all. It was the backstage area of some TV show. A security guard told him they were doing construction back there and kicked him out, but that excuse just made him even more suspicious. After all these bizarre incidents, Truman realized he was only seeing part of the picture. He was actually living inside a massive movie set on an island called Sea Haven. The island had 8,000 hidden cameras installed, broadcasting Truman's life around the clock. 2 billion people watched him being born, and 190 countries witnessed him learning to walk. The ocean was fake, the sky was fake, even the people on the island were fake. They lived, worked, and grew up right alongside Truman. For 30 years, he'd been living his entire life under the watchful eye of cameras. Even his wife had given up her youth to play the role of his spouse. Audiences got sick of all the phony expressions and over-the-top acting, so a director created The Truman Show, the world's most famous reality TV program.